Welcome to Rebel Speak and Be Encouraged. Today we're looking at we're revisiting Isaiah 41. And it's a contrast between there's rumors of devastation, and there's those that don't know God, how they respond. This is verses 5 through 10. And those that God has relationship with, and how God speaks to those with whom God has relationship. And something about waiting, and Christianity is not a waiting game. It's not a waiting game. Like this, the whole story, Jesus tells a story about a person that's given money, and that person hides the money because they know that the person that gave them money is capable of making things happen out of nothing. And there's something about that where it says you reap. That means like you've planted a crop, and you reap where you haven't sown. So there's something that the man knows about the one that's given him the money, who's given him the gifts. The word for that money was talents, and that's gone on to be a word that we use to talk about the many ways that each of us is individually gifted, and what we do with that. Okay, what do we do with the gifts that God gives us? And it's clear in that story that we're meant to not hide them. They're not meant to be dug into the earth and kept there for a rainy day. They're meant to be utilized, and we're meant to do great things with the persons that we are. Our personhood is a gift. But there are times and situations where God does have us wait. There's a very powerful story where the first king of Israel was named Saul, and the people aren't trusting him, and Samuel, he's waiting for this man Samuel, and he doesn't show up, and he takes things into his own hands. And he loses that position of kingship. And Samuel says to him, God was looking for someone who had a heart for God. There's something about us in difficult situations that when we trust in God, and we say, God, you're the one I trust in, it exposes that our heart is for God, a heart after God. Or there's this something in us that's not afraid of dire circumstances. That's like, no, I've come to trust God in a way that... to God, that speaks of friendship. Something about that trust speaks to God of friendship. So I'm going to start with verse 5. And there's this army that's coming. There's a sense of pending doom. And you have two different responses. And that's what I want us to see. And it's going to start with people that are far, far away. Because the rumor, this army is so powerful that the rumors have traveled out, right? Like moved, they've like when you throw a pebble in the water, they've worked their way out to the farthest reaches of humanity. And here's how the folks that don't know God respond. The lands beyond the sea, far, far away, watch in fear. Remote lands tremble and mobilize for war. Okay, we don't know what to do, but let's get ready. They encourage one another with the words, be strong. And I just want to speak a little bit about the limitation of words. We live in a very word-oriented day. You walk into stores. I'm walk into stores, and there's proclamations. I think it's interesting. I'm in a nation that speaks Portuguese, but the stores have these English proclamations of value and worth, and they're not English. They're proclamations in English. Okay, they're proclamations that the whole world can make, and there's nothing wrong with making good proclamations about yourself. But words are limited. They're limited. And so they're saying to each other, be strong, but they're about to face something that's far bigger than themselves. They need salvation from outside themselves. Often we need salvation from something outside ourselves. My telling myself I'm a wonderful, cool person is sometimes not enough. It's good. Self-love's good. I'm for it. Speaking good words over yourself, I'm for that. But there comes a time we were created to be in relationship with the one who is truly greater than ourselves by a lot. Okay, by a lot. So they say to each other, be strong. The craftsmen rush to make new idols. Oh, we need more idols. What are idols? This is what they worship. It's where they have their security. And a question to ask in this day and age, what are the things in which you have your security? What are the false things that you put your security in? They build idols to which they pray. But we have all kinds of things and it's not, things become an idol when we rely on them when we should be relying on God. So we can have, I don't think all things, there are things that we can trust in that are helpful in life. Friends are helpful. Okay, I think money by and large is helpful. But then we get to this point where that's the thing we go to over and above God, and it just shifted its meaning, because those things can't deliver on what we're needing. And in this story, it's salvation. Okay, we can be needing, right, that God-shaped heart. If you've ever heard that hole in your heart, that we can be needing the love of our Creator. No friend can give us the love of the one that created us. No friend can do that. No friend can meet us in that place. We can have superstitions that just kind of make us feel better, but there comes a time when they no longer can deliver the full potency that the God of the universe, God, the one who has created the world in which we live, God can deliver perspective to us that no one else can give. And it's perspective that I can't come up with. It's from outside. Back in the day, I don't know, there was a period where speaking of God as holy, W-H-O-L-L-Y, not H-O-L-Y, which means like sacred, but like completely other, wholly other. That there's things that God can speak into my life that are beyond what any human can achieve, beyond what nature can bring or give me. So back to our story here. They're encouraging each other with words, be strong, and they're rushing to make new idols because they need new levels of salvation. Okay, God, we need new levels of salvation. Things, I don't know, I just feel a little emotional right now. Things are falling apart in some new levels of depth. Things are going wrong in some new ways. I'm experiencing, maybe you're experiencing some new lows in your life. And so there's something about the greatness of this enemy that's attacking them that makes them create new idols. They're looking for new ways out on circumstances that look like pending doom. The carver hurries the goldsmith. Okay, so the goldsmith's going to pour, the carver's going to cut out the mold, and the molder helps at the anvil. That's where the metal's pounded out. And they say, good, it's coming along fine. Oh, this is going to be good. We've got it good. This whole place where positive thinking and positive self-talk genuinely falls short. We're in the midst of a disaster that our words can't override. Our best of positive thinking can't bring about a better end, or the end that we need. Carefully, they join the parts together, then fasten the thing in place so it won't fall over. Okay, this is hugely humorous. It's hugely humorous. They've built this little idol. It's made out of gold. They've poured it into their molds, but it's not secure. So they have to the thing that they're worshiping, the thing that they are putting hope in, the thing that they're hoping is going to save them is so vulnerable that it can easily topple. So they nail it down. It's finite. It's human created. It's not perfect like God. In the fullness, I don't like that kind of Greek understanding of perfect that is not real. Plato had these forms that were perfect that weren't real. Hebrew scripture never, there's no concept, like mental concepts that are beyond actual experience. God, the humanity and I shouldn't say humanity for God, right? I'm trying to think of the right word. God is so comfortable with our humanity because we are made in God's image. It's not some sterile kind of understanding of perfection that's all about obedience, and it's kind of boring. Nothing about God is boring. All right, but there's this investing in things that have no capacity to save you, and everything about that thing, like in our eyes today, these kind of idols, like what a joke. Why would I bow down to a naked golden human looking form? That's how I picture it anyway. We wouldn't But there are things that we do bow down to that are just as contrived, and they're just as unreliable. It's that unreliability of them. There are things that we're putting our faith and hope in that are deeply unreliable. And in walks God that says, wow, let me tell you one thing. I am reliable. We might say, yeah, this thing could save me. If it works out, this deal will save me. And God's, yeah, but it's not reliable. I'm 100% reliable. That's the contrast. Reliability, unreliability. They're little gold statues that they're saying, woo, I'm going to worship you. Unreliable. We live in a world that, like, if I can just get all the pieces to work just fine, and the more privilege you have, more sense that you can get that all to work just fine, but it's unreliable. It's not reliable in the way that God is reliable. And here's the shift. Verse 8. But as for you, Israel, my servant. Okay. So the ends of the earth, they're frightened. There's this news of a devastating army coming in to the situation. Bad news. The front, I don't know, like, things aren't looking good. Something is afoot that's terrifying. And here's what God says in the midst of that. But as for you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, my chosen one, descended from my friend Abraham. These are tender words. These are tender words of relationship. Tender relational words. As for you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, my chosen one, descended from my friend Abraham. I have called you back from the ends of the earth so you can serve me. See, there's this exile where the people are sent out. But it's not the story. When the rumors and the despair come, God's telling them, I am so dependable. I am so dependable in your circumstances. You may feel so far away from me, but I'm not far away from you. And my heart for you is not far away. My for you-ness is very near. My love for you is clearly established. It's not temporary. It's not erratic. I'm for you. I'm calling you back home from the ends of the earth so you can serve me. And that's not like serve me like do my dishes. It's a statement of relationship. It's a statement of fulfilling relationship where the people are in this right relationship with God that meets, that we're created for it. So it's the most fulfilling relationship we can have with God. It's that relationship for which we have been created, a vibrancy of relationship that nothing else can meet. Because within me, I am created for this vibrant relationship with the creator of the universe. And there is no other than he. For I have chosen you and will not throw you away. Don't be afraid, for I'm with you. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be afraid. Don't turn to false logic. Don't turn to unfulfilling, dissatisfying means that maybe if I'm just lucky enough, they'll work out. Ooh, maybe this relationship, if I'm just lucky enough, it work out. Maybe this, I just like to say this guy might take care of me if I'm just lucky enough, it might work out. That's so precarious. Don't turn to the precarious. Turn to the eternal. The eternal. Turn to Yahweh. The verb, Yahweh is the I am that's will be and always has been. This is kind of the name God gives us for God's self. Do not be dismayed, for I am with you. I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand. That victorious right hand can be defeated by no one. That's the hand. At some point, God says, I looked for someone to help my people. There was none, so my own right hand went out and saved them. The victorious right hand of God is undefeatable. It's bringing all of creation to a joyous, fulfilling end. All of history to a purpose-filled end. That's the storyline that we're a part of. And here God says, do not be dismayed. What does it mean to be dismayed? It means I see no way forward. I have no hope. I'm giving up. And God just says, don't. Maybe from where you stand right now, things don't look good. But from where I stand, I've got you. I've got it. It's my nature. It's my character. I deliver. I follow through. I'm reliable. It's why all of creation's crying, worthy, worthy, worthy in Revelations. Because we've all, at the end of the day, know the goodness of God is tangible. That's that word, God, you're worthy. You're worthy of our worship. You weren't just some rumor that our great-grandparents believed in. No, I've tasted and seen. I know. You have this encounter with God, and there's this joy because I've met this thing that I've heard the rumors about. It's real. It's an exciting. Oh my gosh, God, you're all that folks have said you are. I've encountered that goodness, that worthiness, and all of creation will be saying, worthy, worthy, worthy. You, God, are worthy. So do not be dismayed, for I am, that's God's name, I am your God. You are not alone. I will strengthen you. You need strengthening? God will strengthen you. I will help you. You need help? I will be your help. Not some precarious situation, circumstance that you're just hope against hope. It's going to work out. No, I deliver. Walk down this path with me. Walk down this path with me. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand. That's my be encouraged today. That's my be encouraged to you. Wherever you are, whatever the circumstances, whatever vulnerable places you're in that you perhaps don't see a way forward in, and you're looking to make deals. You're looking, where might I find, where can I turn? Turn to God. Ask God. Say, God, can you come into the situation? Will you? Not can you. That was the wrong thing. Invite God into your circumstance. Say, God, you with that victorious right hand, show me a way. And you will walk down a path. And it might not be immediate, but here's the thing. God always shows up. God always shows up. And we are always all right in the midst of all that we're going through, because God is real. And God's never abandoned us. We can abandon God. We're like, this is too hard. I'm going to go. I want to go elsewhere. And it's a choice we make. But God never abandons us. And he won't abandon you. And God yearns, I feel to say this, God yearns to forgive you. Like where you've abandoned God, you can say, God, you know what? It's very hard for me to trust in you. I just don't know what you are. And I believe we can even believe in God and have it hard to trust in God. Like, no, there's something, I actually deep in my hearts of hearts, I believe in God, but I feel like God's capricious. That's a weird word, or I love that word, capricious, because it says something. When something's capricious, it's unreliable. Like, maybe you had a parent that sometimes was kind and sometimes was harsh, and you didn't know which parent you were going to get. That's capricious. The gods of Greek mythology, they're very capricious. Yahweh, the God of creation, is never capricious. Never capricious. God delivers, and God gets you. God gets you to a place that's better than where you are right now. That's that victorious right hand. Be encouraged, and God bless you.